It's been a long time coming, but Christy Kinahan has finally been sentenced after the UK passport gang was caught. The passport gang is a criminal organization run by Kinahan and was responsible for hundreds of fake passports being sold to illegal immigrants and criminals. After months of investigations, the gang was caught, and now Kinahan is facing up to 14 years in prison. This video will discuss the details of the arrest and sentencing of the UK passport gang and the impact it will have on Christy Kinahan. So do subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video for more informational videos like this. Without any further delay, let's dive in. Passport scam. The passport scam, orchestrated by Christy Kinahan and his cohorts, was a sophisticated operation that catered to some of the most dangerous criminals in the world. Using their connections and resources, they were able to provide these individuals with authentic passports, allowing them to travel around the world and evade law enforcement agencies. The passports were obtained through a complex web of illegal activities, including bribery, forgery, and theft. The gang was able to get their hands on blank passport books, which they then used to create fake identities and documents for their clients. The operation was not only profitable, but also extremely dangerous. Those involved were constantly on the lookout for any potential threats or law enforcement agencies that may be on their tail. They had to be meticulous in their planning and execution to avoid being caught. The passports themselves were not only used for criminal activity, but also for more legitimate purposes, such as getting medical treatment abroad or attending business meetings. However, the primary market for these passports was undoubtedly the criminal underworld, where they could be used to carry out heinous crimes and escape the long arm of the law. Despite the immense profits and success that the passport scam brought to Christy Kinahan and his gang, it was ultimately their downfall. Law enforcement agencies were able to track their activities and shut down the operation, bringing these dangerous criminals to justice. How they used to do it. The UK passport gang operated a highly sophisticated passport scam, where they obtained genuine passports legally issued under false identities through fraudulent means. They targeted individuals who had no prior criminal records or ties to organized crime, offering them a large sum of money in exchange for the use of their identity to obtain a genuine UK passport. The passports were then used by members of the gang to facilitate drug trafficking and money laundering operations. The gang used a variety of fraudulent means to obtain these genuine passports, including forging documents and bribing passport officials. Once the passports were obtained, they were sold to criminals and organized crime syndicates across Europe and beyond. The gang's profits from this operation were enormous, and they were estimated to be in the tens of millions of pounds. However, their success was also due to a loophole in UK law, which allowed the fraudulent use of genuine passports to go undetected for many years. Fortunately, the UK passport gang's reign of terror came to an end when they were finally caught by authorities and brought to justice. Many members of the gang were sentenced to long prison terms, including Christy Kinahan, who was one of the most notorious figures involved in this operation. The UK passport gang's operation was a major blow to organized crime in Europe and serves as a reminder of the lengths that criminals will go to in order to obtain genuine passports and commit crimes across borders. It is crucial for authorities to remain vigilant and continually update their methods for detecting and preventing such scams in the future. Huge profits. The UK passport scam carried out by this gang was highly lucrative. It was reported that criminals were paying up to £20,000 for a fraudulent passport. This staggering amount shows just how high the demand was for these documents. The gang operated for 5 years and made significant profits. They were able to exploit a loophole in the system, which allowed them to produce genuine passports using stolen identity details. Once the passports were issued, the gang sold them to criminal organizations or individuals who wanted to assume a new identity and avoid being caught by the authorities. It's no wonder the gang was able to make so much money given the high demand for their services. They were providing an essential service to criminals who wanted to remain anonymous and avoid being caught by law enforcement agencies. However, their success was short-lived. Thanks to a combined effort between law enforcement agencies in the UK and Spain, the passport gang was eventually caught and justice was served. The arrests and imprisonment of those involved sent a clear message that this type of criminal activity will not be tolerated. Loophole. The passport gang's success hinged on the discovery of a major loophole in the passport renewal process. The leader of the gang, Anthony Beard, discovered that by submitting passport applications with different photos, but the same names and addresses, he could effectively create multiple passports for a single individual. This allowed him and his associates to use the passports for fraudulent activities such as money laundering, drug trafficking, and even terrorist activities. The process was relatively simple. The gang would obtain photos of their clients, along with their personal information, such as name and address. They would then submit the application using one set of photos, and once the passport was issued, submit another application with a different set of photos. This allowed them to receive multiple passports under a single name, effectively creating an unlimited supply of fake identities. The success of the gang was due in large part to the fact that the UK passport renewal process did not require any form of identification verification. This made it easy for the gang to submit applications on behalf of their clients without fear of being caught. Fortunately, the authorities were eventually able to catch on to the gang's activities, and Anthony Beard and his associates were arrested and convicted. Since then, the UK government has made significant changes to the passport renewal process to prevent similar activities from occurring in the future. Demise of the gang. The UK passport gang's activities came to an end when their operations were uncovered in 2021. The police carried out an extensive investigation and arrested 3 individuals involved in the scam. Christy Kinahan, the mastermind behind the operation, was among those who were caught and sentenced. The gang had been operating for years, exploiting a loophole in the UK passport system to make huge profits. They provided forged passports to people who wanted to enter the UK illegally or to avoid legal issues. They charged exorbitant fees for their services and made millions of pounds in profits. Their scheme was discovered when a few people who used their services were caught and interrogated by the authorities. The trail led the police to the gang's headquarters and to Kinahan, who was their leader. The gang members faced multiple charges of fraud, forgery, and money laundering, and were found guilty in court. They were sentenced to several years in prison, and Kinahan received a particularly harsh sentence due to his leadership role in the operation. The demise of the UK passport gang sent a strong message to others who might be contemplating similar illegal activities. It also showed that the authorities were committed to identifying and prosecuting those who engage in fraud and other criminal activities. The gang's activities may have come to an end, but their impact on the UK passport system will be felt for years to come. What are your thoughts on this? Do let us know in the comment section below. See you in the next one.